Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Today on Ciao Italia, Cavatelli Pugliese style. Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Welcome to Italy, and let's cook real Italian. Aren't they gorgeous? Swiss chard. I knew you said that. I'm in heaven. Think about how healthy this is. That's for you. Sundae sauce. All 20 regions of Italy are fabulous. And every time I do this, I think of my Nonna Galasso because she always made it this way. You want a Goldilocks dough, just right. Who doesn't like basil, especially in the summer? Obviously, you have to have pesto sauce at some point, right? I mean, I'm a cook. Why can't I try it? You're the best.
No, you're the best.
I'm in the mood for pasta. How about you? Pasta's got to be just about everybody's favorite, I think. And today, I'm going to make a pasta that comes from Puglia. I'm using durum semolina flour. So I want to measure out 2.5 cups by lightly sprinkling the flour into a dry measuring cup. This is where a lot of people run into problems because they use too much flour or they don't use enough flour. So if you're not using a scale, which is what you would do if you were in Italy, you want to make sure you're using a dry measure, not a plastic measure. And you measure out 2.5 cups of the durum flour, which is about 300 grams. So here's my 1/2 cup on my board. Anyway, here's where we are. Puglia, the heel of Italy. I've been there many times. Land of beautiful ancient olive trees, truly houses, the best cheeses, broccoli rabe, and cavatelli. That's what we're making today. So on my board I have 2.5 cups of durum semolina. Durum, which is a finer grind of semolina flour. Semolina is a hard wheat flour, and it's used to make dried pasta, so pasta you buy in the grocery store is made with semolina. If you look at a bag of flour, it'll say made with 100% semolina. But when that gritty, coarse flour is ground a second time, it's durum flour. So it's got this nice yellow look to it. If you look here and then you look here at just all-purpose flour, you can see the difference in color between this white and this yellow. So with the durum, we want just a little salt. So I stick a little salt there, and then we want to make our little crater or our little fontana. So I burrow down right into the center. So now we're going to add some water. I've got some salt in here as well, so a little salt in some warm water. And you start by adding some water into the center of the flour. And then you start bringing the flour in to the center, and you add just enough flour to give you a dough, something that holds together. So this is something that you just kind of have to eyeball. You'll get the hang of it once you make pasta enough time. So gather up the flour as you're going along, add a little bit of the water, not all of it at one time, and it's best to work on a floured board instead of working on something like stainless steel or a metal surface, because wood has grab, and you need that for when you're making dough. So you take your time till you see that you have a dough that's going to hold together. And I know that I need more water, so I'm going to put a little bit more water there. Of course, the first time I saw these cavatelli being made in Puglia, I was with a bunch of women, older women, who had done this for years, because years ago in Italy, you had to know how to make all kinds of pasta before you could even get married. That was kind of a prerequisite. So these women could make this very quickly. And you want to make sure that you have for cavatelli a sturdy dough because you're going to have to either form them by hand or you can use something called a Cavatelli machine. And I'm going to show you what that's like. So there's my last bit of water. And I think that's going to be just about right. And then we're going to have to let this dough rest until it's nice and soft and pliable, and that's going to take about 30 minutes. So when you have enough flour, scrape whatever else is on that board off, because you don't want to make this too hard, and then work with the dough that you have. And as I work this, it'll get smoother, and it'll look smoother, and it'll look more uniform because I'm working the flour into the dough. And you've got to knead it several times by hand, or if you're going to do this in a machine, you can let it whirl around the blade several times before you take it out. Oh, it's a really good dough because it's nice and sturdy, and I know it's going to go through that machine, the Cavatelli machine, very easily. And I know what you're saying, I don't have a Cavatelli machine. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that without having a Cavatelli machine. So you work this about 5-10 minutes or so until you have something like that. You see? And then you have to let it rest. So here is the dough I just made. You put it on a board, a floured board, put a bowl over it, let it rest there for about 30 minutes. Here's a rested dough. You see how nice and soft and pliable that is, and those little indentations stay there? That tells you that that dough's ready to go. So now you can just give it a few turns, and then we're going to cut this dough, and I'm going to show you how to make cavatelli. This is a cavatelli maker. It's my new latest toy. Other women get roses and diamonds. I got a cavatelli machine. And it makes great cavatelli. So it's just anchored to your counter, and it has little rollers here, wooden rollers, and we're going to stick the dough through there, and it's going to come out here. So let's start, okay? So here's our rested dough, and we want to work with small pieces at a time. So I'm going to move that over a little bit. You want small pieces, and you want to roll them under the palm of your hand. Now the trick to doing cavatelli, and did I say that cavatelli means a little cave or indentation? I'm going to put some flour down and just roll them onto the flour. They have to be well floured. And then just flatten them a bit with my hand, just like that. And then we put them through the machine. So you start down here. And that makes your cavatelli, see? And if you have enough flour on them, they won't stick together. So you can see why they're called cavatelli, because they have like a little ridge on the bottom. You want to roll them under the palm of your hand. Get rid of that. Make sure that they're well floured. That's the important key, because then they won't stick. And you can make these as long of a rope as you want to going through them, but I think it's easier to handle and to work with them if they're in short strips. So let's put this through again. Okay. So there they are. And you see they have ridges on them, and that's there so that you can have your sauce really cling to the cavatelli. So if you don't have a machine like this, well, then you could do them by hand. So how would that go? So let's cut off a small piece. Again, just rolling them under the palm of your hand. And then you want to cut them into small pieces. Isn't this a cool tool? You can make them as long or as small as you want to. So you cut them up into pieces like you were doing a gnocchi. And then you just would roll. You're not going to get the ridges, but you'll get the cave. You'll get the little cave in the center. So you just stick your finger and roll it over. See? They're a little thicker, but hey, if you don't have a machine, this is what you do. Or, again, just rolling it over so you have that little indentation. Or you could use a cavarola board. Like I said, other people have diamonds and flowers. I have pasta tools. And you could take those same little pieces and just roll them over the board. And that'll give you the ridge. And also, it'll give you the little cave. This was made for me by my friend Terry Murray, who lives in California. And he makes a lot of wonderful Italian pasta tools. So again, you see the little ridge? You may have to flour the board a little bit too as you're going along, just to keep everything moving. And this will take a couple hours. You have your friends over, and you all make these. See? Oh, that looks like a machine-made Cavatelli one. I think you get the idea. So once you've got all this dough done, you've made all the Cavatelli, you let them sit out for about 15-20 minutes while you make the sauce. Now the sauce for this is really simple. You want to start with some garlic, so I'm mincing up 2 cloves of fresh garlic. Don't even think about doing this with garlic that's already minced up in a jar that you buy in the grocery store. Too powerful. So once you have the garlic minced, the first thing we have to do is brown some breadcrumbs. So here are some breadcrumbs. This is made from stale bread. I don't buy breadcrumbs, I just use what I have at home. When I have the bread very stale, I might put it in the oven for a few minutes just to really dry it out. Then I smash the heck out of it, and I keep these in the refrigerator, and then I have it whenever I want it. So we're going to brown the breadcrumbs first in some extra virgin olive oil. So you want to put a little extra virgin olive oil in a pan. And if you've ever been to Puglia and tasted the olive oil that comes from Puglia, wow, absolutely fabulous. Buttery, it's peppery, deep green color. So in go the breadcrumbs. And you just move those around until they're flavored. The oil gets all absorbed by the bread. And you got to be careful here so that you don't burn the breadcrumbs. All you really want to do is give them some flavor and get a little bit of like a crunch on them, because this is going to be part of our sauce. You know, in many parts of Italy, breadcrumbs were substituted for cheese. When you didn't have cheese to put on pasta, you always had bread. So you could use breadcrumbs instead of cheese. And that's looking good. That's all there is to that. So now we have to take that out into a bowl. And we're going to set these breadcrumbs aside while we do the next thing. And we're going to use the same pan. As I keep telling you, I'm a one-pan girl. All right, so now we add a little more olive oil to the pan. And we're going to put in that garlic. So here's our garlic. We don't want to burn the garlic, so we have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to turn the heat way down. And with it, another thing that Puglia is noted for, hot chilies. And depending on how much you like, well, you can crush in as much as you want. I like a lot of heat, so I'm going to put in, you know, enough to give me kind of the sensation that I'm going to have to eat a piece of cheese afterwards to kind of settle down my salivary glands. So you put in as much of the hot pepper as you want, mix that with the garlic, and then we have some anchovies. Now these are anchovies in oil. You can buy them in the grocery store, and you really want these to melt into the garlic and the oil. So you smash them down the back of your hand, the back of your spoon rather, and you just let that flavor everything. And I'm going to add just a tad more olive oil to that, because this is going to be the sauce for our Cavatelli. But we also have to add one more thing, and that is broccoli rabe. People call this rapini, rabe, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, broccoli rabe, used a lot in Pugliese cooking. So you want to buy it fresh. You want to take off those stems. Those you could use either in your compost or how about in your soup? That's good too. And you add the washed, cut up into small pieces broccoli rabe right to this. Goes in. Or you could put this in the pan when you're cooking the pasta. You could add the broccoli rabe right to the same cooking water. You want to mix this around and let it absorb a lot of the essence of this sauce, which is the garlic, the anchovies, the hot red pepper. And at the end, when we come back to this, I'm going to add a little bit of the cooking water from the cavatelli. So you let this cook down. We're going to put a cover on that. We're going to give it a little pepper. Everybody thinks it's tomato sauce that Italians eat, but there's a lot of other kinds of sauces, and this is a good example of one. And some salt. And let me get a cover because we want that to wilt down. And we'll come back to this in, I would say about 3 or 4 minutes. But meanwhile, let's get the cavatelli cooking. The most important thing when you're cooking pasta, have a big pot and a lot of water. And then salt it when the water comes to a boil. So our water's at a rolling boil. We've salted it. Here are the cavatelli. I just pick them right up and put them right into that boiling water. I give them a quick stir, and when they come to the top, I know they're ready to fish out of there and add to the sauce. You see how these cavatelli have come to the top? Well, you want to know whether they're cooked or not, right? So what do? You take one out and you say, cooked. Those are delicious. All right, so pardon me. We're going to take a little of this water. This water has a lot of nice starch in it. And add it right there to our sauce. You should always do that. Get a little bit more. Okay. Now we can take out the cavatelli. So you really want to get the excess water off. And you see how beautifully they are separated. There's no adding oil to the water, which nobody in Italy would do. And I know a lot of my friends add oil to the water when they're cooking pasta, and I just about cringe when I see that, but they're friends, so I don't say anything. But anyway, if you have plenty of water to begin with, you don't need to do that. People do that because they think that the pasta is all going to stick together. But I'm here to prove to you that that is not true at all. So fish them all out into your saucepan, and then all we have to do, of course, is add those beautiful toasted breadcrumbs that we did in olive oil. Okay, so there they are. I'm going to combine them. Look how pretty this is. Like I said, not every sauce in Italy is a tomato sauce. This is wonderful with these beautiful greens. Pugliese are known for their vegetables. You could do this with something else. You could do it with asparagus. You could do it with peas. Pretty. Look how pretty that looks. Colors of the Italian flag. I don't want to miss any of that. You spread that out. We add some of those beautiful breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs right over the top. And there you have it. Cavatelli, Pugliese style. Today we made these beautiful cavatelli from Puglia. Remember, that started with just durum flour, water, and salt. And then we put them through the Cavatelli machine, or I told you you could do them by hand using your finger. And here they are. They're all ready to be cooked. And when they are cooked, they look like this. Remember, we combined them with some broccoli rabe, which was part of the sauce, breadcrumbs, garlic, anchovies, and hot chili pepper. And it's all ready to eat. It's a really wonderful peasant dish. And it's from Puglia, and it doesn't get any better than that. And until I see you nella cucina again, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Ciao! Millions of tourists come here every year to Pompeii, and I've been here several times. And each time I try to think about what was it really like when the people were here. The noises, the smells, the activity, all the things that were going on. And then I think about that fateful day on August 24th, 79 AD, when they had no clue that something was going to happen. Oh yes, they've had earthquakes in the past, dismissed it off, you know, a little rumbling here and there is nothing. But then, when Vesuvius blew its top around 1 o'clock on that fateful day, there was nowhere to go. There was no place to escape to. You literally died in your tracks from asphyxiation, or you were burned instantly with heat that was so intense that we can't even imagine it. Some people say over 700 degrees Fahrenheit. A lot of people tried to escape to the water, and some of them did, huddled together and stayed there for a while. How do we know that? Because they found the remains of these people, all huddled together near the sea. So over 1,000 people that lived in Pompeii died on that fateful day. So this little pit here would be where the water would gather. And if you look up would be kind of like our idea of a skylight today, but open, that would allow the rain to come into this area. And then they would use the water, of course. So this is the entranceway to the house. And you had to be fairly wealthy to have a place like this. So Pompeii really was known as a resort town. It was a resort town. It was on the water, Bay of Naples. And this was a playground, really, for wealthy Romans who came away from wherever else they worked and relaxed. Here they came to just enjoy their gardens, enjoy just being with their friends, just relaxing, like we would like to do today, too.
Could have divorced. So she divorced normally. She married the best friend of the Emperor Nero, Otto, and then
It must have been so brightly painted at one time, but it's pretty much intact. I can't make out some of the figures that are up there, but nonetheless, 2,000 years later, it's gorgeous. And it probably had some kind of marine description, I would think, around the walls. I can see a little bit over here on this side. So some sort of marine motif. This is probably where you got all the gossip of the day. Just sitting with your friends, talking about things, home life, politics, whatever. So we're still in the public baths, but this room, we came from the frigidarium to here. This is the spa, S-P-A, just like we know it today. So this room was heated, and we're told that this is the room where you would come to really exfoliate your skin. And one of the things that they would use would be the seeds from the myrtle plant, so myrtle leaf seeds. But anyway, so the walls and the floor were heated, but they were heated through steam vents on the floor beneath there. They would build a wood fire outside, and then the steam would come through and heat this all up, the walls and the floor, so hot that you couldn't stand on it in your bare feet. So you would have to wear some sort of a shoe, a wooden clog or something like that. And you would be in here for a couple of hours because, as I said earlier, the Romans were really into health and cleanliness and hygiene. So this is the spa. Not anything like the spas we have today.